For years, I've been building business apps using VBA user forms, and they worked fine, but making them look modern took a huge amount of effort. They only ran on Windows, and sending updates to users was always a headache. So recently I started wondering, what if I rebuilt my inventory software as a Python web app? Well, that's exactly what I did. And in this video, I'll show you the finished app, how I built it, and whether I choose Python over VBA for projects like this. Now you can download the full code using the link in the description and try it for yourself. So let's dive in. Let's start by taking a look at the finished application. This is the products page where we can manage all of the inventory in the system. Now along with the product name, we can see the category, quantity on hand, price, and most importantly, the current stock status. The status is color coded, so at a glance it's easy to spot products that are running low or completely out of stock. For example, if I edit this product and reduce the quantity to 0, the application immediately updates its status to out of stock. And you can also see the dashboard statistics update automatically. Little touches like this make it much easier to monitor your inventory. Now, adding and editing products uses the same form, complete with validation to make sure required information like the product name, SKU, and price are entered before the record can be saved. Of course, entering products one at a time isn't very practical, so I've also included CSV import. I simply drag in a file, it previews the data before importing it, and then with one click, all of the products are added to the system. And as you can see, the inventory statistics update automatically. The most interesting part of the application is probably the sales order screen. So first I select the customer, then I add the products they're purchasing, and as I build the order, the subtotal, tax, and grand total are calculated automatically. Now once I'm happy with the order, I save it, and the order is immediately available in the order history, where I can open it again at any time to review the details. Now behind the scenes, saving the order also updates the inventory levels, so the stock will always stay in sync with what's being sold. Reporting is a core feature of any business application, and this one is no exception. So here are a couple of simple reports. The first shows revenue over time, and the second breaks down revenue by product category, which gives us a quick overview of how the business is performing. These reports are just the tip of the iceberg, as Python has extensive reporting features available. So there's much more that you can do. Although this is a relatively small application, it contains many of the features you'd expect in a real inventory system. Product management, customer management, sales orders, reporting, validation, CSV import, and automatic stock tracking. And more importantly, the application was designed to be easy to extend. So adding new pages and new features requires surprisingly little code, and later in the video, I'll show you why. For the application, I chose Streamlit with Python. And the reason is that creating a web interface with Streamlit is actually very straightforward and doesn't require HTML, JavaScript, or CSS, although you can use those if you wish. Now, Streamlit isn't perfect. It can feel a bit slow when the screen refreshes, especially if you're doing heavier stuff. And while it's great for small applications, it's not really built for big, complex systems. But if you're creating your first web app, then it is ideal. You can get something working quickly, you can learn how web apps behave, and avoid getting overwhelmed by all the usual web development complexity. Getting started with Streamlit is surprisingly simple. After installing it and importing the library, you're ready to create a Streamlit application. And in just a few lines of code, I can create a title, a drop-down list, and display the selected item. Now, when we run the code, you can see that the laptop was selected. And that's all it took to create a simple web application. When we create Windows applications using VBA user forms, we have events that trigger when the user interacts with a control. So for example, if the user makes a selection in the drop-down, the selection chain sub would run. Now with Streamlit, when the user makes a selection, the value of the selection is placed in the variable and the script automatically runs again from top to bottom. Now, if you're coming from VBA, this is probably the biggest mindset shift as you approach to writing the script will be a little different. Now, at first it feels a little strange, but after you've built a few applications, it actually makes the code much simpler because you don't spend your time wiring up dozens of different event procedures. If the script constantly resets, how do we remember data? Like who is logged in or what's currently inside a shopping cart? And in Streamlit, we solve this using session state. Now, if you're a VBA developer, just think of session state as global variables that keep your data alive while the app is running. Now that you've seen the finished application, let's take a quick look at how it's put together. And even if you've never built this exact inventory system, you'll pick up some practical techniques that you can use in your own Python projects. At a high level, the application is made up of three main layers. So we've got the user interface, which is Streamlit. We've got the CRUD library, which I'll talk about later, and we've got the SQLite database. Now, the first layer is the user interface, which is built using Streamlit. And this is everything the user interacts with, the pages, the buttons, tables, and forms. The second layer is my reusable CRUD library, and it handles all the create, read, update, and delete operations that almost every business application needs. And finally, we have the database, where all of the products, customers, and sales information is stored. Now, I'm using SQLite because it's a lightweight, incredibly easy to set up, and perfect for applications like this. Now, you don't need to install a separate database server. Everything lives in a single file. One of the most important principles in software design is keeping these layers separate. For example, when the user interface asks for a list of customers, it doesn't care whether that information comes from SQLite, a CSV file, an Excel workbook, or something else entirely. It simply asks for the customer list. Now, likewise, the database has no idea how the information will be displayed. Its only responsibility is to store and retrieve data. So keeping each layer focused on a single responsibility makes the application much easier to maintain, test, and extend it as it grows. If we look at the project structure, you'll see it's organized into separate folders, each with a clear purpose. One for the user interface, one for the database, one for authentication, and one for reusable CRUD library. Now, organizing projects this way makes the code much easier to navigate as they become larger. Now, one feature I'm particularly happy with is how the application handles pages. So here's the page list. Each page is defined by just a few pieces of information: its name, its icon, and the function that displays it. Now, whenever I want to add a new page, I simply add another entry to this list, and the sidebar menu is generated automatically. And when the user clicks that menu item, the corresponding function is called. So adding a completely new page only takes a few seconds. Now, one thing I noticed while building this application was that every page looked remarkably similar. So the products page, the customer page, and even a future suppliers page, although they display different information, they're all performing exactly the same four operations: add records, read records, update records, and delete records. Now, in software development, we call these CRUD operations. Now, I could copy and paste the same code for every page, changing only the table name and field names. But that also means every improvement or bug fix has to be made in 4 or 5 different places. And it also means that each field name is used in multiple places, and updating or adding new fields can become very messy. So instead, I asked myself, what actually changes from page to page? And the answer turned out to be very little. The only really differences are the fields which we're storing. So everything else, the forms validation, database operations, edit buttons, delete buttons, and so on, they are essentially identical. So instead of rewriting all that code or having code for each different page, I wrote it once as a reusable CRUD library. Now, whenever I want to add a completely new section to the application, the process is surprisingly simple. So first, I define the fields for the new data type. Then I create a small database wrapper that connects these fields to the database. And finally, then I create the page itself and register it in the application's page list. And that's it. In just a couple of minutes, I have a fully functioning page with the ability to create, edit, delete, and search records. And the amount of new code I have to write is actually very small because almost all of the heavy lifting is handled by the reusable library. This is one of those design decisions that doesn't seem particularly important when your application has 2 pages, but once it grows to 10 or 20 pages, or you have multiple applications, it becomes a huge time saver. You're not just building the application, you're also building better tools to make the next application easier to create. So from here, I could build a CRM, a purchase order system, asset tracker, or invoicing application using the same foundation, meaning that I don't have to create the application from scratch. So far, we've built the foundation of the application. We have reusable CRUD pages, a database, and a clean architecture. But every real business application needs something more than CRUD. It needs business logic. In this application, that logic lives in the sales order page. So unlike the products or the customer pages, saving a sales order doesn't just create another database record. It changes the state of the entire system. With a single click, all of these operations happen automatically. What's interesting is that the page itself contains very little business logic. Its job is simply to collect user input and display the interface. When the user clicks Save Order, the page hands everything over to a single function called Save Order. And that function becomes the heart of the application. It writes the order and its line items to the database, updates the inventory levels, and clears the outdated sales data. Because every part of the application reads from the same database, those changes appear immediately. Stock levels decrease, reports update, and every page stays in sync without any extra code. Now, keeping this logic out of the user interface has a big advantage. The sales order page only needs to worry about displaying information, while all of the business rules live in one place. And that makes the application easier to test, easier to maintain, and much easier to extend in the future. So what are the lessons I've learned from building this project? Well, first of all, how apps are built. The biggest challenge wasn't learning Python syntax, it was changing the way I thought about building applications. In VBA, applications are primarily event-driven. You write code that responds to button clicks, drop-down selections, and worksheet changes. But with Streamlit, the application simply reruns from top to bottom whenever the user interacts with it. And that felt a bit strange at first, but once I understood the pattern, it actually simplified my code. Now, one thing I immediately noticed was how much easier Python makes writing reusable code. In VBA, I often found myself duplicating code or working around the language to make something generic. But in Python, I can simply pass a function to another function, and this makes it so much easier to build reusable components like my CRUD library. Now, another big improvement was the database. In VBA, I often found myself trying to make Excel behave like a database. With SQLite, I finally have a real database designed for the job. Now that means less code, better data integrity, and far fewer opportunities for users to accidentally break the application. Now the UI was probably my biggest surprise. I assumed building web apps meant learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and was pleasantly surprised it didn't. That completely changed what I thought was possible with Python. Now the final thing I learned was that VBA is still important. So should you abandon VBA completely? Absolutely not. In programming, all languages have their advantages and disadvantages, areas of importance, and so on. And VBA is still great if you want to create a front end for an existing spreadsheet, or where you want to create a quick tool within a spreadsheet. Now looking back, I don't think learning Python has replaced VBA. Instead, it's given me another tool. And if I'm automating Excel in many cases, I would still use VBA. But if I'm building a standalone business application like this, Python would be now my first choice. Now, when I started this project, my goal was simply to rebuild an inventory application. But by the end of it, I realized that Python makes good software design easy, and things like reusable components, separation of concerns, and clean architecture are very easy to implement. If you want to explore the full architecture, the complete source code is available via the link in the description below. And if you're ready to start building your very first Python web app today, then click on this video right here where I step through getting Streamlit running from scratch. See you in the next video.